The year was 1660. After years of civil war, regicide, and puritanical rule, England welcomed back its exiled king, Charles II, in what became known as the Restoration. The people cheered, the theatres reopened, and the court brimmed with opulence. Yet beneath the surface, shadows of instability festered. In 1665, London was gripped by the Great Plague, the worst outbreak since the Black Death. Corpses lined the streets, and the air was thick with the scent of death. As the wealthy fled, the poor were locked in their homes to die. A year later, while the city was still recovering, the Great Fire of London tore through its wooden buildings, turning the heart of England to ash. Thousands were left destitute, their hopes reduced to embers. Meanwhile, Charles II, ever the merry monarch, indulged in pleasures, while religious tensions simmered. He had no legitimate heir, and his Catholic-leaning policies provoked fear. In 1678, the Popish Plot, a fictitious conspiracy accusing Catholics of planning to assassinate the king, triggered a wave of anti-Catholic hysteria. Men were executed for crimes they never committed. When Charles II died in 1685, he left behind a nation on edge. His brother, James II, inherited the throne, but his overt Catholicism made him despised. His attempts to impose religious tolerance for Catholics and dissenters backfired. In 1688, 7 Protestant nobles invited the Dutch Prince William of Orange, husband of James's daughter Mary, to invade England. James II fled to France, deposed in what would be called the Glorious Revolution. But while it was bloodless in England, it led to bitter wars in Ireland and Scotland. At the Battle of the Boyne in 1690, William crushed James's forces, cementing Protestant rule, but leaving Ireland scarred with sectarian hatred. In the Scottish Highlands, the government turned on those who had once supported them. The massacre of Glencoe saw the slaughter of the MacDonalds under the guise of hospitality. Men butchered, women and children left to freeze in the snow. William and Mary ruled together until Mary II died of smallpox in 1694, leaving William to govern alone until his death in 1702. Having no children, the throne passed to Mary's sister, Anne. Queen Anne was a tragic figure. She endured 17 pregnancies, yet none of her children survived to adulthood. Her reign saw the bloody War of Spanish Succession between 1701 and 1714, a costly conflict to prevent French domination of Europe. The war left Britain in crippling debt, and its soldiers died in foreign lands for a cause that seemed never-ending. But the greatest crisis was one of succession. With no surviving heirs, Anne's death in 1714 would end the Stuart dynasty forever. The Act of Settlement in 1701 had barred Catholics from inheriting the throne, meaning her closest relative, the Catholic James Francis Edward Stuart, was ignored. Instead, power passed to a distant Protestant cousin from Germany, George I of the House of Hanover. George I ascended the throne in 1714, but he neither spoke English nor understood his new kingdom. His rule alienated many, especially the Scots, who launched the Jacobite Rising of 1715 in a desperate attempt to restore the Stuart line. It failed, but resentment smoldered. Meanwhile, corruption and greed consumed the government. The South Sea Bubble of 1720, a speculative financial scheme, burst, leaving investors ruined and trust in the monarchy shattered.